Welcome to Weekly Wisdom. We are so glad that you've joined us today. We are glad to be able to come to you on a weekly basis and share what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, in hopes that it will be fruitful and productive for you, give you something to hold on to in this week as you face whatever you may face. Hopefully, good, sometimes bad. Either way it goes, we want to help you to be equipped for what will come. And so we're excited to have an opportunity today. We just wanted to check in with you all today. We've been trying like at least once a month to just have a session where we don't come in with a huge agenda, but where we come in and just say, "How y'all doing?" I'm getting southern now, so you got to say it like that. How y'all doing?
How y'all
Hey
doing?
y'all, how you been doing? We want to know what's been on your mind. What have you been working on?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even if you are vulnerable enough to share, what's been troubling you? What's been where you been struggling? Whatever it may be, we want to be able to, as a community, because that's what we're building here. The Weekly Wisdom community wants to be able to uphold one another, to give nuggets, to share some wisdom, to share some advice at times. I don't do a lot of advice because people get funny. Like the advice, man. Here I go. I don't mind going wherever this takes me. Sometimes I am at a point in life where I have chosen. I've made a choice, and I'm not saying it's the right choice. That I am careful about giving advice. I don't like doing it that much, because what happens is sometimes people come ask you, "What do you think?" and then you tell them what you think, and then they're like, "You know what? He's just so controlling. He's manipulative. All that kind of stuff." And I don't want that. So I don't give a lot of advice. I just come on here on Sundays and we just share what thus saith the Lord to our hearts, what's been on our hearts and mind. You take what you want to take, you run with that, you throw it away if you want to throw it away. But we we hope you don't. We hope you grow from it. We hope that it's something that you can ingest that will build you up and help you as you go through whatever it is that you may come up to in this coming week and beyond. And so, how are you all doing? Let's do a pulse check. How are you all doing? I'll do one question at a time. Sometimes if we throw a bunch of questions out,
Mm-hmm.
it's confusing. Well, what do you want me to answer? Just how are you doing? How are you doing today? Let's start there. It's good to see you all. It's good to have this opportunity. I'm so animated today.
Yeah, he is.
Am I? I don't even feel like I'm so animated today. I'm animated by the Holy Ghost. Oh Lord, I'm just playing. So animated today. Listen, let me tell you all while I'm waiting on you to tell us how you're feeling, how you're entering this space, how you're feeling. Yesterday, our household, Camille, Caden, and I sat up and watched Kiera Sheard goes live on her YouTube channel with various special guests, many times her family members,
Mm-hmm.
just doing cooking
And talking.
and talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it felt so familiar as we sat and watched the engagement as if we were like in the room with them. And it felt like, I'm going to tell you the truth, it felt like we were in the kitchen at the White Cloud Empowerment Center, just kicking it with everybody, just talking and all of that, and it felt so familiar and so comfortable. So that was fun. We kept watching more just because it felt
Mm-hmm.
so warm and familiar and
Yeah.
inviting. So,
I think the
uh,
only thing missing was being able to eat the food.
yeah, we couldn't taste nothing. Couldn't taste nothing. And so good, Earlene. I see. Oh, Stephanie, I see you first. Today is a great day. That's good. That's good. That's how you're feeling. Today is a great day. That's a good thing when we're able to enter into a day with a positive. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Um, Earlene as well echoed that and said, "Great entering this space. Great. That's wonderful. Because not every day that we wake up can we say, man, it's a great day. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up and I feel great. That is a blessing. Rested. Oh, that is so beautiful, Stephanie. rested, entering the space rested. That is great, because sometimes we're just so busy and we're so on the move, and we don't take time to just chillax.
Yep.
You know,
Just
I
rest.
pull words together, chill and relax. For anybody who doesn't know that compound word, sometimes that's what we need. We just need to rest. We need to rest. Bible says, "Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. The principle of rest. See, y'all drive us right to areas that we need to be. That's why I like doing the check-ins. We like doing the check-ins with you. Rest. Camille is the sergeant of arms of rest for our household. Even back when we were doing ministry, she made sure that there was a cadence to our rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I need that because with certain things, when I'm passionate about it, I'll just keep on going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny, and I don't got no Energizer in me. And so, rest. Why has that been
Yeah.
so important to you?
It was just something that God made, um, just kind of magnified it to me, how much rest is needed. I remember this one time, we were not at service at church one day because we ended up going to, I think, a conference. And that Sunday, I'm not even sure if there was something to go to that day or that morning. It might have been a day we were going to travel back home, but we sat at the dining room table at whatever rental place we were at, and we had so many fresh ideas that were
Mm,
coming to us, and I'm like, we never would have had the time to sit and quietly let these things come to us and for them to just birth, in our spirits,
mm,
if we hadn't had a kind of a time of rest. So it was even like I learned too that rest is even just getting away from the norm,
mm.
during that time. So yeah, it's good. It's refreshing. Um, I also find that I have to. It's hard for me to get in that position of rest, and it takes a lot for me to just slow my mind down, just slow everything down. Do you all feel like that? I have to tell myself or make myself or even plan, okay, I'm going in like 10 minutes, I'm going to sit down and do nothing.
Mm,
Or I'm going to lay down and try to take a nap. For whatever, something in me does not allow me to take naps when there's an opportunity to take a nap. And I've learned about myself that my mind just goes and goes and goes about what's next, about what I don't have done, about what needs to get started. So I want to know from some of you, or even you, Rajel, how do you get in to the beginning part of rest? Like, how do you make yourself rest if you're a person who is always on the go?
let me tell you all the truth. She tried to throw it to me. I don't have much in this area. I am not one of those hypocritical teachers. Hey
Hey,
Marie,
Marie.
good to see you. I need feed me, Camille. Feed me here because I don't do well. Um I sleep good, and that's different than some people. But as far as breaking away from the routine and the structure of the everyday, especially when I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, I
Mm-hmm.
am not your example, uh, um, for how to make sure that you rest. But what I can say to piggyback on what you said, Camille, I remember those trips and things when we would get away out of the routine, do something different. It was like every time that she would force me to take a vacation or to rest or to get away, um, there would be a plethora of downloads
It was
Like,
pretty amazing
yeah,
how it
vision,
worked. Yeah.
vision would just be like, just uploading into my system like crazy, and I would be able to download it to paper, and so would she, and we would talk, and the ideas would begin to have ideas, and it was a being in a place of rest. Oh, I feel that I feel this, and it's speaking to me first. Being in a place of rest allows for the formation of ideation. Being in a place of rest allows you, it becomes the breeding ground for vision and ideas. Oh my goodness. The breeding ground for vision and ideas, you know, scriptures always help make sure we're on the right track. Um, there are several instances in scripture where God, sometimes in the form of his son Jesus, sometimes in the form of the Father, will say, "Be still and know." Oh my goodness. Or "Be still and see." I'm thinking of two particular scriptures. One is "Be still and know that I am God." So there's a secondary response to being still. That's rest. Being still, and it can be a breeding ground for knowing. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know the plans I have for you. Be still and know. But then there's another scripture that says, "Be still and see." I believe that's over in Joshua. Be still and see. I don't know if it's Joshua or not. Be still and see the salvation of the Lord. Somebody can let me know where it's at if I said the wrong place. Read your Bible. Teray Roberts often says, read the whole thing. It's in there. Be still and see. So see the salvation of the Lord. So watch him work. It's in Second Chronicles around chapter 20. See there? It comes back. It's in there. It's like ragu. You remember the commercials for ragu spaghetti sauce? They say it's in there. So be still and know that I am God, but then be still and see the salvation of the Lord. In other words, watch me work. That is in context of the scripture where God said, "You won't even have to fight in this battle." Oh my goodness. Just be still and see how I'm about to work this thing out on your behalf. So, being still, the prerequisite for this knowing, this divine knowing, and this divine seeing is rest. Being still. And that's when the floodgates open for ideation, for strategy, for revisioning, for seeing something from another perspective. Because when you're in the tyranny of the urgent, I didn't think I had a lot to say today, but I'm not being quiet. You said I'm animated, so in the tyranny of the urgent, the first thing that we do when we're working really hard is we put our head down. Get that visual. We're on the go. We're in the tyranny of the urgent. It's our everyday mundane processes of work, of life, of taking care of the home, of raising children, of education, of whatever it is that you're focused on. We put our heads down and we just crank out work. But when your head is down, you can't see. Oh God, I feel this
And
thing
you're
real
closed
good.
off.
Yeah, talk about it.
No, I'm just adding to what you're saying.
Oh.
It's just you're closed off to all other things and elements, even sometimes the Lord, because it's a form of focus, but we can be over the top with it too.
And we're trying, in most cases, to be good stewards. Like, I really want to be good at handling my responsibilities. I really want to be a good steward of this job. I want to be a good steward of this family. I want to be a good steward of this house. And so we're trying to do the right thing, but in the midst of it, we are not following the ebbs and flows and cyclical nature of what God has established for us. He showed us way back in Genesis a pattern of work, 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 and then rest. God himself, who's all powerful, omnipotent, sovereign, mighty, almighty. We talked about it last week. He's all of that. What was the wording that we used last week? He is absolute, and he's absolutely God. Even after he created on the first day, created on the second day, created on the third day, created on the fourth day, created on the fifth day, created man on the sixth day, and then on the seventh day, what did he do? He rested. He rested because he was demonstrating. It wasn't. I don't believe, and this I could be wrong. I don't believe it's because the omnipotent needed rest. How that doesn't even make sense. How can the omnipotent get tired? He has all power, right? But it was more, in my opinion, a demonstration of a cyclical nature of life. He wants us to do the output. He wants us to take care of the things that we need to take care of. But even God, with all of his power, and we don't have all power, we are limited in our power. We are limited in our strength. Our bodies, and we got some medical people on here, our bodies are limited, right? We're finite, which means we gonna die. There's a point of running out that happens for human beings, and we push ourselves to the point of beyond exertion, beyond the limits. And if we don't have a regular cyclical nature of stopping and resting, our bodies will shut down. But also, what I'm telling you is we won't know who God is, and we won't see what God will do. Be still and know, and be still and see. All right, so yeah, y'all talking. Let me see. Let me see what y'all talking about. Go ahead, Camille, if you have anything while I'm looking at these.
I'm just thinking uh, it is a regular balance in life that we need to incorporate. A lot of times we will try to do it like maybe every 6 months. I think in most cases that's too far out. Um, if we have just a regular, what'd you say, cyclical, just a regular timing of rest, number one, the issue like what I have of turning my mind off, I can get to that more quickly if I practice that better. We practice, some other things a lot better, the go, go, go part, but why don't we practice the rest part? Why don't we practice the things that are incorporated in rest? So yeah, rest is just as important as the getting things done
Yeah.
piece.
And again, let me remind you in case anyone has forgotten, I am not the expert on this. I know it theoretically, but I fail practically. Um, and maybe we should talk about why some of us sometimes fail practically at this when we know theoretically. Isn't that something right in itself? We can know what's good for us, whether that be our diet, rest, all sorts of things. We can know what's good for us and what's going to sustain us and what we need, and yet and still time and time again in our actions demonstrate the exact opposite of it. This is one of many areas, but one of the areas where I am the worst. Because I know, like if I want to get, because what happens with rest, with getting away, with vacationing, with breaking away from the routine, monotony, and kind of rigidity of our normal everyday life, we come to a place of refreshing. Rest, and this isn't like rocket science right here, rest is refreshing, right? We feel better, and we all know this. I'm not saying something that's earth shattering. We feel better when we rest, right? We think better when we rest right. We react better when we rest right. We're not so tense. Like, we're not so mean when we've gotten good rest. We have more patience. We have more calm. We have more excitement. We have more tenacity. It refuels our passion. It is refreshing to rest. Yet and still, with all of that knowledge, and every one of us knows that, I'm going to ask y'all, I'm going to throw it out to you. If you like me and you still struggle in this area, why is it that we just don't, as Camille just said, make it a discipline, make it a pattern, schedule it in, build the muscle of rest. Oh, I like that. We need to build the muscle of rest. That sounds counterintuitive. It sounds like it's conflicting, but it's not. Why don't we, when we know that's what we need to do, why don't we? I'm going to wait for y'all to answer, but Camille, feel free to help us, because this is turned into all you, because you definitely helped me.
I think I can speak for myself. There are times when I feel like I don't have time to rest.
Mm,
I feel like there's so many things to do that I can't rest anyway
mm,
because I won't be able to turn my mind off. But, that's the challenge, right? That's the part where you have to learn how to get into that arena of rest, really. How do you, knowing that, that's the thing too, is that you don't have to worry. The stuff is going to be there when you come back to it. It's not going anywhere. It's faithful.
mm,
you know? So we do ourselves so much better if we go ahead and take that breather and then come back to these things refreshed. The other thing too is I've learned that we schedule all these important things, and this is one thing that I learned that is helpful for me in diving into my rest periods. We schedule everything, right? Everything that's important, and so I started scheduling our rest. Because that was something that was never on the calendar. I mean, besides like, maybe a yearly vacation or something like that. But rest doesn't always have to be some big, immaculate planned vacation. Because really, sometimes vacations, you come back and you're tired after that. But yeah, I started adding them to the calendar and saying, this is when we rest.
mm,
And you would fight against it. I'm
every
like,
time.
nope, it's on the calendar. We're supposed to rest. What?
And then you asked me, and you asked our ministry leaders,
Yeah.
a very critical question. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to talk about that.
what is your threshold?
Mm-hmm.
I think every individual has a threshold, and it was funny when we went around and asked that question to ministry leaders because they had never considered it. It had never been they had to take some time to figure out what is their threshold. As for needing downtime, just and I mean sometimes it's just a day, sometimes it's just half a day.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone had different timings. Some people were like, well, I don't really need it, and we were adamant. I was like,
Wrong.
yes, you do. Everyone has a threshold. We cannot just go 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 and never stop. And so when they think about it, some people were like, well, I can do it, like I need a break every 6 months, which I didn't really believe it, but it was starting somewhere.
That was me.
It was a start. And I think that once you get into that cycle of being committed to your rest times, then you look forward to it because it's a whole different space in your head that you get to. It's a whole different place if you teach yourself and train yourself to do that.
Yeah. And so just clarity for anybody who didn't come along with us on that journey, that what is your threshold question we would ask ministry leaders. Camille came up with it, not me, to ask them, how long do you need to go before, in our church context, it was before you take a Sunday or a week off. That's what we meant by threshold. How long can you go before you need to take a rest, to take a break? And so that's a question. And many of us, even on our jobs, some of us, not everybody is fortunate in this way, but many of us, we have paid leave and vacation time. And we don't often think strategically through how we're going to use it. But the threshold question can apply in any context. How long can you go before you need, and you're the one who's responsible for knowing that and answering that, before you need to take a break or to take a rest.
And think about how terrible things start getting once you pass that threshold. It's because you needed time for a fresh perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you needed to just be done with it all for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about what happens when you go past that threshold, you know, you're, I think, you have shorter patience with people. you are not as crisp with your output. You know, you don't necessarily have all these fresh new ideas. You know, for those with a whole bunch of ideation and stuff like that. So I just think
Can I add a couple more?
stuff starts going downhill if you don't honor that rest time, that threshold.
Yeah, I know me. I get raggedy. Like I'll start cutting corners because I get bored. Like and it's the same stuff, same thing. Got to make the donuts, make the bricks, make them, put it in. And so then, like because you're not rested and crisp and fresh, you start being like, I'm just gonna do this a little bit, and you start doing some stuff halfway. And so I know this all conceptually and theoretically, but that was the question, and I saw some of you all started responding to that. And so, why don't we do this? And I feel like one of the reasons for me um, came to me as well. But let me look at what you all have said because I saw something interesting. Stephanie responded. I think sometimes I look at it being rest and leaving that monotony of the everyday and taking a break as if I am somehow failing. If I
Yep.
don't finish it right now, I'm somehow
Or
failing.
if I don't stick to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And
Yeah.
my common sense knows it's not failure, but yeah, it doesn't. Whatever. There's a voice. There's something. There's values that we have instilled in us. Like you got to be there. You got like there's stuff that just it sings a chorus in our head. I'm failing if I'm not there. If I don't, if I walk away from it, I'm letting it down. And that's what came to me actually in a similar way. And I wrote it down and this is for me, so I'm not saying this to anybody else because it would be insulting if I'm saying it to someone else. But if I'm saying it to me, it's just my actual thought. Sometimes I don't do what I know to do in this area of rest from especially responsibilities that I have passion for because I think that I'm more important and more critical to the whole of the work than I actually in reality am. Um, I think, and
You
you
sort of
know,
much.
yeah, like, and I remember we used to joke and say to my dad, I don't know if dad's watching, you think Gerber Baby Food gonna shut down if you use your vacation days? This man retired with more vacation days than I will ever use in my entire life. But for like the thing is, I had a colleague who used to say, back when I was at Calvin College, Didi would say, if I walk outside today, and I know this is gruesome and very extreme, and get hit by a Mack truck, they're going to replace me,
And the work
and this work is
continues.
going to go on with or without me. And I know that doesn't make us feel valuable. That doesn't make us feel, but we convince ourselves that we are more critical to the whole picture than we actually probably are. They probably will be just fine if I don't show up, if I use a vacation day, if I use a vacation week, if I use whatever I have at my disposal. If I get sick, they're gonna figure out. Yes, it's gonna be some revamping. Yes, they're gonna feel it a little bit, but the work isn't gonna stop.
Yeah.
The phrase that comes to mind is "one monkey don't stop no show." See, I've been around my dad a long time, and so um, if we want to actually be critical and really be irreplaceable, we have to incorporate this discipline of rest so that we can come refreshed with our best ideas.
Stephanie
Uh,
said
that's
she
it. I'm
calling in
calling in
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Now make sure you have days to be doing that now. No, don't y'all have a revolution and then you calling me about pray for me. I need a job. Yeah. So I see more stuff here. Hey, Lysandra, good to see you.
Hey,
Good
Lysandra.
morning. I'm calling in tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not going tomorrow. It's MLK Day. I have it off. I work for the government. All right.
And the other thing too is when we think about what our, what God has for us, how God wants us to be, why not position ourselves to be our best selves with the things that we have responsibility over, with the people that we are connected to in this time of life that we're in? Bringing your best self is ministry.
Mm,
And so don't bring your raggedy self,
mm-hmm.
your don't bring raggedy ministry
Mm-hmm.
to the places that you are called to, or that are in your season of life right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's our duty also. I mean, if you look at this spiritually, you know, um, God wants us to love people.
Mm,
And we can't love people right
mm-mm.
if we're not also taking care of ourselves, first. And so it is our duty to go and be a representative of Christ wherever we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. All of that from how's your week going? Yeah. Good. This is good stuff.
Rest is good.
Yep. Daniel Tiger
Rest
says
is best.
rest is best. Daniel Tiger pastored Caden for the first several years of her life. And he has some really good messages.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, rest is best. Yep. Um, so yeah, trying to see if there's any more to go through on that or not. Uh, so the cyclical nature of rest, building it in, and this is ministering to me right now. Um, and that leads to, oh man, being fully present wherever you are. So, man, this is tearing me up right now. So if I'm on vacation, if I'm on a holiday break, if I'm at home, not working from home, then I need to be fully present where I am, right? Um, if I'm at work, I need to be fully present at work. Rest enables you to be fully present where you are, because once you go away from a thing for a while, you're okay coming back to it. You can focus. And here's the other thing that I was going to say. Thinking back to the days where we were doing the in-person um, lead pastor type role, one reason why it was so difficult for me to not be there on a Sunday is because I felt that the work was so important. Not only did I feel like I was an important part of the work, but I felt like the work was really important. And so I just wanted it to be the best it could be. And my limited thinking said, in order for it to be the best that it can be, I need to always be there. But Camille's thinking, which is better than mine on this, in this area, no doubt about it, would say, yeah, but you're gonna be so much better once you go away. Once you're not there for a minute, you're gonna come back to it with some renewed energy, with some renewed vigor, with some better ideas, with some vitality, right? Yep. Yep. So some of y'all calling in tomorrow, fully present wherever you are. Yeah. Yeah. That fully present concept, man, um, is really important. It's just like if we're at home, if we're at home with our families, but the whole time we're there, and we're not working remotely, the whole time we're there, our mind isn't. Our mind is on work. Like many of us give the best version of ourselves when we're most awake, when we're most excited, when we're most energetic. We give that to jobs, and then our families get the remainder and the leftovers. That don't make sense. There's got to be a way that we redeem that, where we change that up, where we make it better. Um, And if one way to do that is to make sure that when I'm in a conversation, and it's not just jobs that take our attention, it can be that phone. It can be that phone. Camille can be talking to me, and I'm in the middle of a spades game, and I half hear what she has to say. I can be talking to her, and she in the middle of scrolling through Instagram, and she might not fully be. I know she thinks she gets it all, but she might not fully be getting everything that I'm saying. That is not being fully present. My encouragement for all of us, me first, is to be fully present wherever you are. Like the best results you're gonna get is to come in and you can't be fully present if you're not rested. That's how I was. That's how that came to my mind. If you're not rested, it's impossible for you to be fully present because your mind isn't fully there. Your body isn't fully there because you haven't rejuvenated it and restored it to what you need it to be. I see y'all. Hmm. Self care. Yeah. I don't think the world got it before the church because we got it in Genesis. I get what you're saying. It's just we know to do good, but evil is always present. We don't do, Paul, the Apostle Paul said it. He said, we know to do good. We know, how did I say it on the message group that one time? Uh, we don't do, I don't remember how it went. What we know to do, but we will do. I don't know. I lost it. But anyway, there's a scripture. You can find it and read it. It's all in there. We don't do the things that we know to do. We had the concept. Matter of fact, many of these concepts that the world has grabbed it from the wisdom of the word. Um, we saw rest demonstrated. We were told to rest. We were told, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. The kind of rest that restores your soul. We have it, but we don't apply it. We don't apply it. And then, well, let me not even go the direction I was going to go. But sometimes we not only don't apply it for ourselves, but when we're in a position of authority, we hold people to a ridiculous expectation, and we ask them to be as out of order as us. Like we want people to work, like we want people to just not breathe, just work. Don't breathe, work. And so not only do we hold ourselves to ridiculous standards, but we hold other people to standards that aren't even humane.
And so you create an off balance culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And have you ever been in a workplace where the whole culture is out of order with this? Like when you take a vacation day, people are like, really? They're going to do that? They're using their sick time instead of coming to work sick? Please.
Well, how sick are you?
Yeah, are you really sick? Could you still do it? Like, and it creates this culture of unhealthiness, of imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We work tirelessly to the grave. Yeah. And that's the thing. When we run out, the thing keeps going with or without us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, Mom. Gonna work on resting. You gotta practice it. Yes.
It is a practice.
It is.
It really is.
It is. Some of us have time and still don't rest. You don't sleep. All of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the word for today. Work on the rest.
Thanks for kicking that off, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're rested.
Yep. Yep. Try to stay that
Yeah.
way.
I need to add more. We have some stuff on the calendar, but we haven't been following those days.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other
Actually.
thing.
We do here and there, but that's the thing. The commitment piece is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a discipline we started attempting, a newer one that we started attempting last year, 2022, because we started reading a book
Teray Roberts.
Teray
What was it
Roberts
called?
book. I don't know.
We're supposed to finish
We
it.
didn't finish it yet. I don't
That's
remember
because
what
we
it's called.
stopped at that chapter where he challenged
Mm-hmm.
to, was it monthly? He said,
I don't remember what he said.
to stick
And I
to
don't remember
it.
the name of the book.
So we've been trying to
His
practice.
latest book.
We've been trying to practice that. Let me look it up. We've been trying to practice that, and we started off well, and then life happens and things come up, and you get busy, and there's stuff you have to get done, and then that scheduled date is like, oh, I got all this I got to do. I'm gonna just skip it this month, and then those days start rolling into, or those days start rolling into more than 1 month that you're skipping. So
The book is called Balance.
Yeah.
And again, we haven't made it through all of it, but the part that we're talking about right now, and I keep doing this today, I'll talk about something, not tell you what we're talking about. He challenges you in the book, as the reader, to schedule some alone time.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a little bit different angle than
yeah, a little bit different.
Yep.
Some alone time to rejuvenate, to refill, whatever it is, and different things rejuvenate different people. So whatever it is that rejuvenates you, to do that by yourself, not with your spouse, not with your boo, not with your children, not with your best friend, to spend some time with just you.
And it's not stuff like what you typically do on a regular basis, but it's more it's different stuff. So it's not like that alone time is for you to go sit on Instagram or Facebook or whatever you typically do to pass time away sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And it really tries to focus you and hone you in on, oh man, on being versus doing. Every human being has a proclivity towards certain things. So most of us typically have a proclivity either toward being or doing. Certain cultural groups, for instance, sub-Saharan Africa, I know this from my studies on cultural intelligence, sub-Saharan Africa, and some Asian cultures and some different cultures have a more common tendency toward being. Anglo and U.S. culture and certain other cultures have more of a focus and a tendency and a proclivity toward doing. So some cultures and some individuals find their value in doing. I am what I do. Others find their value in being. Whichever one you lean toward, what this practice is attempting to have you do is to spend some time being. Be Rajel with Rajel
Right.
for a little while. Be you with you for a certain amount of time every now and then. Because it's that whole thing that we've been talking about. It's how you get your downloads.
Yeah.
It's how you get refreshed. It's how you heal. It's how you strategize. It's how you come up with a plan for your next. It's how you stop and hear God. It's how you meditate. It's how you open yourself up to being a conduit of what's being spoken to you and what's being said. Stephanie, you got problems. I'm exhausted after all of this. I did. And we didn't even talk about that. I left Stephanie a message on her phone this week. That's so interesting. I didn't even think about that. I got her voicemail, and my message that I left was something along the lines of, "Hey, Stephanie, you're working too much. Take some time off." I felt it, and I said it. I'm that kind of little brother. That's what I do.
And she did it.
And she did it. Did she? Did she say that? And she thought about it. It caused me
maybe she
to
didn't do
think
it yet.
about work-life
Maybe that's
balance.
why she said, "That's it. I'm taking tomorrow off."
Ah, yeah. It doesn't say she did anything. But that's right. That's
Planted
the
a
flow
seed.
this week. That's the flow this week.
I find it interesting that this is a recurring conversation And the reason why is because we fail as people to do it.
Yeah.
And so it has to keep coming back up because now we can all say, okay, I'm getting back into this commitment of rest, of working on being, because we dropped the ball a
Yeah.
lot. I want to get really good at this thing.
Yeah. I need to get a lot better. I need to get a lot better. Yep. Cool. So she confessed.
She didn't do it.
Not yet. Not yet. A day or two this week. That'll be great.
Good.
That'll be great. That'll be great.
Praise the Lord.
Well, I think our work here is done. Folks taking time off and gonna be for a while. We are so caught up. I'm gonna talk about Americans in general. We're so caught up in this um, doing society. Some of our roots are in a being mindset, but we've been born and raised in this doing nature.
It's a 24/7 nature. I mean, like, you think of stores, when I was growing up, stores had a close time.
Right.
If it was like 8 or 9 o'clock, you kind of hit. And
Mhm.
now you have a lot of places that are open 24/7. They're
Mhm.
open all weekend, all the weekend. And that means somebody's got to run the business at those times. And so, um, people, yeah, society is just all about always being open and available.
Go, go, go.
Now, with some things that have happened, more recently, it has caused businesses to have to start closing at certain times. Um, with COVID and just even like natural disasters and stuff like that, it has caused people to have to adjust hours and stuff like that. And so when these businesses adjust hours, then the people who frequent those places have to say, oh, I can't go over there right now. And so you have to sit your tail down.
Sit your tail down. Somebody put that in the comments.
But we also see that we live and we're okay if that thing is not just available at our fingertips.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how we get all up in arms when the Wi-Fi doesn't work right, because it's not immediate, because you have to wait 30 seconds for the link you wanted to go to pop up.
Yeah. We switched to another device, switched to the phone. Like, we can't even wait.
Yeah.
Like, and then, oh, man, nothing shuts down. Like Camille said, stuff. She said, when I was growing up, stuff used to close. But that made me think about when I was growing up, if you stayed up real late, if you snuck and stayed up real late at a certain time on the TV after the news and Barney Miller and Hogan's Heroes. Oh, wow, now I'm sounding real.
See, I
old.
wouldn't.
I don't need no age.
Experience.
I don't need no ageism. No ageism. I'm a protected category. I'm over 40. That's a protected category. I don't need no.
I don't remember.
I don't need no ageism in this
I
workplace.
wasn't around then.
I'm a protected category. After those shows would go off, and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. What would happen is they would sing on TV. The national anthem would play. Oh, say, can
They
you
played the national
see?
anthem.
They did. See, she don't even
Why?
know nothing. She don't even know. That was signaling to you that
We done.
TV was over until the morning.
Why did they choose the? Why did they choose the national anthem?
I don't know. It's some, like patriotic. Let's
American.
remember. Yes. Yeah. Proud to be an American type thing. Oops. I just kind of spit on you a little bit. I'm sorry. But whatever the case, it signaled it's over. And TV shut down. But now we live in a society. Oh, man. That made me feel old that my wife said, I don't know nothing about that. She also is the type of person who go to bed at 8 o'clock. So she wouldn't have seen that even if it was happening. But now we live in an on-demand society. Like, we don't even wait for our program to show up on TV. We watch it on demand. And look, if we gotta watch it with commercials, we have a
In a
temper
tizzy.
tantrum. Like, isn't it on Hulu? Like, why are we watching it with commercials? Let's just wait till tomorrow so we can watch it without the commercials. Like,
Yeah.
we are in an instant gratification
Mm-hmm.
on demand. Like the last generation, I would say was instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
We called them the microwave generation. We're the on demand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, we the microwave too slow even. Like, we want it now. Just let me show up and grab it
Yeah.
and go. Like, it don't take too long. Matter of fact, I'm gonna order this food on the Chick-fil-A app, you know, and then I'm just gonna go. And when I get there, I don't even want to have to wait. I just want to go pick it up and go.
Yeah.
Like, we we are so, nothing shuts down,
Mm-hmm.
nothing waits, and it has affected and
Yeah.
impacted our ability to be patient.
Yeah.
And then when life happens, whether that be COVID or just anything, when we have to wait for something, we think something's wrong. Like, why isn't it happening right now?
Mm-hmm.
And we get mad at God. God, why didn't you give it to me right now?
Mad at people.
Mad at people. What's taking you so long? It's not taking long. It's not taking long. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank y'all for making me feel a little bit better. First of all, y'all hurried up and put that uh sit your tail down. You looked forward to putting that in the comments. Good job. Aging myself. What do you mean? What do you mean? You're my older sister. And then some of y'all know what Hogan's Heroes is. Yep, some of y'all know Captain what was his name? Clink and Barney Miller and all that. The Star Spangled Banner. See, I'm not alone. And then yes, the
She
TV.
said fuzz.
That's what would happen. The TV would go to fuzz and
I
static.
don't know that life. And they're like, you done.
Until morning. So you might as well sit your tail down and go on to bed.
And so now we have to require this of ourselves
Yeah.
because nothing really what's the word, promotes that anymore.
Mm-mm,
You know.
mm-mm. So tonight, sing yourself your own Star Spangled Banner and sit your tail down and go to sleep. Just do it yourself. Like, people can be like, "Why are you singing the Star Spangled Banner?" Cause TV about to be off, baby. I'm tell Caden when I want her to go to bed tonight, sing the Star Spangled Banner and go to bed. Yeah, cool. I think this is good. I think this is good. I think this is godsend, and I think we need it. Me first.
A
Bible says we're
reminder.
first partakers of the messages that we like. This for me first. So I'm not bringing
Yeah.
this from a hypocritical place. I'm horrible, and I need to do better. So let's do better.
Right on.
Power to people.
You
All
just
right.
sing the Star Spangled Banner now?
Oh, say no. I'm not going to. Cause I don't want to mess up the words, and y'all dog somebody for that. I don't think I'll mess up the words, but I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not a singer, but you are. I almost brought my keyboard over here today.
For the Star Spangled Banner?
No, I didn't know we were gonna go there. I should have just obeyed the feeling, cause I could have played it for you. Mm. That's all she got to say when I talk about singing these days, saints. She just says, mm. Let's do better. Thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
And remember,
Schedule some rest in there.
rest
Somewhere.
is best. All right. Love y'all.